Hello, everyone. My name is Khristal Cuéllar Ledezma, and in this presentation called Understanding How Cultures Work, I will talk about an English-speaking country and a non-English-speaking country. I will be comparing them, and I will be talking about them, their cultures, and their similarities and difference to learn a bit more about these countries. The countries that I'll be talking about today are Colombia and the United Kingdom. So, to start, we have the introduction. So, learn a little bit more about the United Kingdom. Well, the United Kingdom is located in the northwest coast of Europe, and the United Kingdom does not only include England, but thing that I didn't know, but includes Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. And the capital of the UK is London, and it has a population of 67 million people around that number. And the official languages are English, Scots, Gaelic, and Welsh. On the other hand, we have Colombia. The Colombian culture is very diverse and it contains a lot of influences such as indigenous, African, and European, especially from Spain because we speak Spanish here in Colombia. And each region has an incredibly amount of spaces that in which converge. They are the creativity, the music. Colombia is really, really diverse. Even it's so diverse that we don't even have such a thing as a typical dish. Every region has its typical dish. It's not like Mexico that tacos, oh oh Italy, pasta, Japan, ramen. No, every region has its special dish. Next, we have, for example, the traditions of these countries. For example, the UK traditions include the afternoon tea. It's a ritual that involves like a live refreshment afternoon in which people eat cake, scones, sandwiches, and these are served with tea. It's very famous, not only in the UK but around the world. Also, they have Burns Night, that is in Scotland, that is a celebration of life and work of Robert Burns, including a traditional supper. There's St. Patrick's Day in Northern Ireland. We know it because it's really green and the little dogs. It's celebrated with parades and traditional music. We also have the bog snorkeling in Wales. It's a unique competition that involves participants navigating with water-filled trench with snorks and slippers. And the pub culture is very famous in the UK because visiting local pubs for food, for drinking and enjoying, like as a group, is very common. And the fish and chips, that is their traditional dish. It's a classic takeaway meal enjoyed in the UK. In Colombia, we have a different amount of traditions. For example, we have the Feria de Cali, that is an annual fair that is celebrated in Cali, and it's a celebration of the culture, of life, of salsa, because it's very famous and Cali is known as the capital of salsa. We also have the Semana Santa, the Holy Week. It's a week to do a deeply reflection about the, the Jesus sacrifice, and it's a week of prayer. We also have coffee because coffee it's very known for Colombians and it's such a thing as they do it in the morning after they wake up or they can do it in the afternoon or at night. They don't have really a time, but it's something that they always do. Dancing, Colombians celebrate with music, with dance, whatever it is. Dancing is a way that Colombians have to celebrate an event. For example, a baby shower, a wedding, a graduation, they dance. That's how they do it. It's a tradition. The Canal de Barranquilla also is a 4-day cultural celebration. It's held annually in the days leading to the Lent, considered the second largest carnival in the world. It features a rich variety of musical expressions, cultural diversity, and all these influences that Colombians have. And the Feria de las Flores is celebrated in Medellin, is also an annual fair, and it's in August. It celebrates the region's music, the floral heritage with parades, music, and displays. It's absolutely gorgeous. If anyone can visit it, it's beautiful. Now we have the key differences and similarities. This is quite curious because there are a lot to start. The cultural roots, because UK traditions emphasize social rituals like the afternoon tea, the pop culture, the traditional celebrations. Uh, However, Colombian traditions thrive on lively festivals, music, and dance that are rooted in our cultural diversity. Uh, these are religious versus cultural celebrations because the UK has traditions linked to historical figures and holidays like Mother's Night and St. Patrick's Day, while Colombian traditions are often related with religious events, as the Catholic religion is the predominant religion. Most of Colombians believe in God, and that's what we celebrate the Holy Week of the Semana Santa, and cultural expressions like the carnivals and the Feria Cali, for example. The social atmosphere, both countries value communal gatherings, pubs and fish in the UK, gambas and carnivals in Colombia. To the UK learns more on foursome social rituals, and Colombia on lively dance-oriented festivities. The values. The core values in the UK are democracy, the rule of law, respect, tolerance, and individual liberty. And the fundamental British values are underpinned because this is what is for them to be a great citizen. And the significance of these values resides on the belief that these are essential for building a cohesive and inclusive society. They are also important for the British as a way of life and to promote citizenship. The core values in Colombia include a family, solidarity, respect for elders, and a strong sense of community, a positive attitude, a love for music and dance, and a deep connection to the history, dignity, pride, traditions. All these are highly valued. And the significance of these values resides in the way that Colombians portray themselves, the way that they treat others, and that the way that they want to preserve their story and their cultures. Colombians value success. For them, that's really important, and the history that they have. For them, that's what they want to fight for and to preserve. The societal norms, well, in the UK, we have that the British always says please when asking someone for help. Is often considered impolite to ask a direction or like a direct questions about someone, like information, salary, weight, age. It's disrespectful. Speaking in public is considered rude. If there is a line for something, the Brits always quick and wait for the turn. The British don't wave or yell to the waiter. No, they try to keep an eye on them as a way of meeting that person, or they gently say excuse me as the person is passing by. It's considered rude to ask something overly personal, difficult, or comfortable for someone not knowing that person well, not having known them well. In Colombia, the Colombian etiquette is a little bit different. Colombians cover their mouth when they're yawning, and for Colombians it's normal to spill a bit when dining with a group. Men will offer to pay for women, but it's usually for a romantic environment. It's not all the time. It's a polite gesture to bring cakes or a bread or something if the person has invited you to their home. And it's customary to offer guests tinto or coffee during the visit. Colombians keep their hands visible above the table and do not rest their bowls on it. That's disrespectful. We keep them like this. And they say buen provecho or enjoy to indicate that the person can start eating. So these are the comparison slides and the similarities and the difference. I put two flowers because both countries are beautiful, just that in their own way. And the similarities we have that both the UK and Colombia value social gatherings, have a strong cultural pride, express festivals, music, and traditions, and they share our respect for their customs. With the UK etiquette, emphasize politeness and quickly, while Colombians practice polite gestures like serving food and offering coffee. On the other side, we have the difference. However, the UK's traditions focus on historical and formal rituals, such as afternoon tea and pop culture, whereas Colombian culture is centered on lively festivals, dance, and diverse cultural expression. Their core values differ because the UK prioritizes democracy, individual liberty, and respect, while Colombia emphasizes family, community, cultural pride. But overall, both countries cherish communal bonds, but differ in like their specific customs and values. What they specific do is like the difference. Lastly, we have the conclusion. Well, after learning about the British culture and my own culture, I have a few insights because when I started reading about the UK culture, I it was quite new in some aspects because I had already learned about them. But when I also started reading about my own culture, because I'm Colombian, well, I started reading and I found myself reflected in all those things, all these traditions, all these key values, principles. I saw myself on there without even noticing. But when I started reading about the UK culture, I felt the difference almost immediately. I was like, oh my god, we're so different. But I could understand them because I can see it in the way that they interact, their celebrations, and that makes them who they are. And so even if that's great, I can see how different we are. However, it was very nice and it was a very enriching experience learning about another culture because it allowed me to comprehend why certain people behave that the way they do. It also reminded me to be very respectful and considerate of other cultures because I want my culture to be considered and respected. So it's beautiful. It's a learning experiences that expands your mind and makes you work on your values and also makes you a better person because makes you think about not only about yourself and understand how they work and why they work like that. It was very, very nice. It was a very enriching experience. And these are the reference. Thank you very much. Bye.